In a world of lights and sights unseen, where a man can lay his head and gather courage to raise the dead. Oh, Mother Mary, with your rolling green, invite me in for a cup of tea. Something that will worth dying for. A love like yours is hard to ignore. Hail the knight in shining armor, slain dragon in her honor, dies and praise every day. The Mother Mary will find her way. Mother Mary, with your rolling green, invite me in for a cup of tea. Something that will worth dying for. A love like yours is hard to ignore. Don't despair, love is out there, someone for everyone. Sometimes the heart needs a little mending. I hope you believe in happy endings. Oh, Mother Mary, with your rolling green, invite me in for a cup of tea. Something that will worth dying for. A love like yours is hard to ignore. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll start off our show with a song of worship. Tide was out, so we set sail, looking for the Holy Grail. We crossed our fingers and dove in, swam across the deep end. I should have thought twice, I would have been in paradise. Now the sea of time is my enemy. A sea monster wagged his tail, a tidal wave crashed down upon our sail. No matter how much we roll, the ocean swallowed us whole. I should have thought twice, I would have been in paradise. Now the sea of time is my enemy. eye of the storm. I watch as you are reborn, blown away, so far away, to live to die another day. I should have thought twice, would have been in paradise. Now the sea of time is my enemy. I should have thought twice, I would have been in paradise. Now the sea of time is my enemy. Now the sea of time is my enemy. Now the sea of time is my enemy. Well, thanks for tuning in and staying here and watching it to the conclusion of the song. Did you make it or not? Did you make it this far? Good. Now we will take our time to pray. Lord, there's lots that trouble us. There's a lot of things that trouble us. What is there to really say? Just be kind to one another. Try to live a humble life. Try not to enslave anyone. It's okay. It's okay to do good. Let us not fear. Let us be courageous, but not zealous. Let us create and not destroy. Let's try to listen to one another. You'll be surprised what children have to say. I pray for everyone who's in need of any kind of assistance to hang in there and just do the right thing. Have some faith. Amen. Read. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was moving over the face of the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and morning one day. God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters." And God made the firmament and separated the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above it. And God called the firmament heaven. And there was evening and morning a second day. God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the waters he called seas. God said, "Let the earth put forth vegetation, plants yielding seed, and trees bearing fruit in which is their seed, each according to its kind." And it was so. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening and morning a third day. God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to separate the day from the night. Let them be for signs and seasons and days and years, and let them give light upon the earth." God made the two great lights, the greater to rule the day, the lesser to rule the night. He made the stars also and set them in the heavens. God saw that it was good, and there was evening and morning, a fourth day. God said, "Let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly across the heavens." So God created the great sea monsters and every living creature with which the waters swarm, and every winged bird. And God saw that it was good, and blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply." And there was evening and morning, a fifth day. God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures, cattle and creepy things and beasts of the earth." So God made the beasts of the earth and the cattle and everything that creeps upon the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make in our image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion over all the earth." So God created man in his own image. In an image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and every living thing that moveth upon the earth." And God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast and every bird, to everything that has the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw that everything he had made was very good. And there was evening and morning, a sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished. And on the seventh day, God rested from all his work. God blessed and hallowed the seventh day, because on it he rested from all his work of creation. Chapter 1. Well, glad you made it this far. It's 13 minutes. Okay, here we go. What's next here? Talk and listen. Okay, well, now I come down here to my fans, and I'm going to start reading and interpreting, and you can basically interrupt me at any time during this talk to ask questions, and I'll leap on my phone here and try to answer them. Oh, there I am, live. Let's jump on there. On my chat forum. Okay. On my chat forum. Okay. Got a bit of a delay, okay. Okay, so here we are. We've just finished the reading of chapter 1 of the book of Genesis. I'm probably going to have to turn myself down because I don't think I have to actually hear myself, so just give me a second. Okay. An indivisible substance. In beginning is vague. So in some place, who knows where? God, noun, person, place, or thing. Being of substance, home or rock. Created two actions, heaven and earth. Twin acts of goodwill and servitude. Action of servitude had no effect or effect. Darkness, fear associated with childhood innocence, manifests at the center of a vast space or circumference. Comma and void, with at least one black hole, void of a comma, without void, meaning no black holes. Darkness with a cyclone versus darkness personified. Spirit, noun, God's servant or master of free will entered the center of the waters. Deep end, plural action. Not necessarily the deep associated in biblical lore as hell, or a place that demons fear. Perhaps earth was born premature. God created light, another action, turns action of light and darkness into a noun. Time is born and passes either separate or as a part of the beginning of God's creation. A medical procedure. Waters could mean water in the body. Embryonic fluid, emotions versus external source of creation. God creates land, foundation, takes action, divides one into two single bodies of water. Above and below can imply left and right. Though land divides the waters, land may or may not have a horizon stretching out horizontally forever on some sort of plane. Land becomes a noun. Time passes, evening, morning, subsections of night and day. First few stanzas grant some merit, except for the comma, which instills doubt into the nature of darkness. So perhaps expanding or clarifying darkness and the beginning. Spirit could be a companion of God with free will to intervene in God's creations. Perhaps Mother Nature is at the heart of God's creation. Flat Earth, convex versus spheres and black holes, heliocentric models. Whole process could be an act of healing. God created heaven and earth in an instant, and the days of creation were in operation. God had to create all things in order to save earth, heaven's twin. Stanzas 11 through 20 point to the seeding of a whole universe in light of Earth's premature birth. If indeed 7 days of healing, everything seems to be going fine on the third day. A sense of peace and hope, dawn of herbology, cure for Earth comes from Earth. God adds lights to heaven from inside out by traveling back in time, pointing to time travel, while placing a sign, reminder to himself, while expanding the nature of time, hinting at ilinear opposed to linear and circular logic. A forgetful God? Lights in heaven could be stars, could be angels shining from heaven to help Earth heal. If we are talking spherical theory, the sun is spiraling towards a black hole 10 times its size and mass. Heaven could be on the other side. God created sun, moon, and stars. Though sun could easily be associated with the great light of heaven, it is not easy to associate the moon with a great light. Thinking about it, a moon was created after Andromeda Triangulum asteroid hit the Earth at the height of the Ice Age, wiping out the dinosaurs. So if not moon, what other great light appears in the sky? Canopus? I think that's how you pronounce it. Canopus? The star has been revered since Caesar, bitten by a poisonous snake. Is there some kind of connect between Canopus, and our own sun? And what does it have to do with the sustaining of the earth? God said, "Let us make man in our image," plural like sheep, hint of more than one God. And that's not God's intention, an eerie undertone, prudent to the point out fowl and beast. Fowl could mean bird, creepy things, spiders, insects, beasts, unclean animals. In Revelations, beast, noun, symbolizes the lack of education, when the uneducated will be enslaved. Not quite done yet. I just went down there to turn the volume down a bit, but I need to hear myself. I'll watch it back and see what it sounds like. The show's constantly evolving here. I'm not quite finishing the read yet. Okay, one more little stanza here. In Revelations, beast, noun, symbolizes the lack of education when the uneducated will be enslaved. 666 refers to the unemployment rate based on hours served in any given year, not based on the mathematical formula work equals force times distance squared, which is the real problem. Foul and creep could refer to a smell and a seed of death and evil.
image of God makes man and female a part of God's body, or from God's body. Not that we are God's. A part of God's body could be his thumb. We are all under God's thumb. God makes men and women masters of the earth. Keep in mind, all in a bid to save earth from a premature birth. God tells humanity, pre-Adam and Eve, to become vegetarians. Again, God refers to foul and creepy things. Perhaps the stench of death brings forth life. God creates rain and blows dissipating dust into the nostrils of humanity to force men and women into working for food, taking care of Mother Nature, and becoming a part of the environment. The first few stanzas could be cut already repeated. I'm not into double beats. Maybe God really wants us to concentrate on this passage. I don't know. Interesting part is that before rain, humanity chooses not to work or toil land to bear fruit. Humanity struggles with working to eat, the first hunger strike. One of the big questions in Christendom, seekers of Christ, where was the Garden of Eden exactly? That's our talk for today and the reading of the passage. I'm here to listen to anyone tuning in. There was someone here. There was like two. It's like now there's just me, just one tuning in. I'll talk to myself. I'll put down something in the chat forum here in a second. Hello. I hope you enjoyed the show. Okay, well, now's the time to give. If anyone feels the need to give, feel free. I haven't got a PayPal or anything set up yet, but we're on our way. But really, it's about forgiveness and going out into the world and being and giving and helping one another, especially those who, aren't really hooked on anything. They're just having a hard time and struggling with keeping up with the rapid pace of life. There's no need. In God's eye, it's not a race, but here it's a bit of a race. So try not to get caught up too much into race, and try not to cut each other off, and show a little common courtesy and common sense out there. Just because a person's poor doesn't make them a bad person, doesn't make them a lazy this or a this or that. That just is all in everybody's head. So anyways, thank you very much. I guess we'll leave with a little canned music, and off we go. So many times I want to slam the door. So many times I want to say more. But I feel bad and control better. Can't get mad or prevent the better. Someday love will find a way. Someday one
Don't wanna sound like a broken record. Don't wanna sound like a one-hit wonder. A thrill seeker, a Hollywood teaser. Wonder where my life is gone. I cut my hand on a looking glass. Somehow I knew it wouldn't last. I should have known better, been a third grade teacher. Maybe a small town preacher.